Hello guys. So if you remember in the last video, I went to my machine and I was going to make a straight stitch where we had put our pin, turned in our ends. I made a straight stitch across the edge. I made a straight stitch across the edge on each one of our ends because we had two ends, okay? We had two ends that we needed to make a straight stitch across. So now we can take out our pins because it's not gonna come a loose because we secured it with the straight stitch. But I want to show you a trick in case you don't know or if no one's ever showed you this. The ends were so small that sometimes it's hard to do a reverse stitch. Remember how I told you in the other videos when we secured the ends of our valances where we were going to insert the rod? It was difficult to do it with this because the width is so small. So I'm going to show you a trick so that you don't have to worry about your stitch coming out. You see how and why I told you before, don't always be so in such a hurry to cut your threads. All you do is you take your two threads, these two threads, and you make a knot. You can make 2 knots, you can make 3 knots, but what you're doing is you're securing the thread in place because we weren't able to make the back stitch. So you just keep tying a knot like a shoe knot, you know, like a knot that you would make in your shoe, and just keep doing it. And then you do it to the other side, and if you can't see where the two are separated, see how I just used the seam ripper so that I'll have 2 threads, and you just keep doing that and tie it again, and boom, we just secured our ends. And then what we do now is when you cut, don't cut to where you just put the knot. Leave just a tiny bit. It won't show much, and you can go back and finish it later, but don't cut right to where you made the knot because then that would defeat the purpose. See how that's my I'm too close. See how that's my knot right there? I'll just cut right there, and people may do it differently. This is what works for me, and it'll work for you too. So then again, this is the other end, and take the seam ripper to just separate it because the stitch is already at the end, so you can probably even completely tie the leftover from where the machine stopped sewing. And all we're doing is we're just securing our ends. We're just tying our ends. 2 knots should be enough. If you feel better with 3, that's fine too. I don't really think you can ever be too you can make it too secure when you're sewing, especially if you don't want your project to fall apart when you wash, or you know, when you're tugging on it, because eventually we have to sew these bows onto our valances. So again, I just make 1 knot, then I make another knot, and if you want to make another knot, you are not hurting anything. You are securing your fabric at the ends. So then we just cut, not where we made our knots. We just cut as close to it as we can. Again, this is the other side. Cut as close to the knot. That's why I told you these little fine scissors, they do it. If you have some big clunkers like these, no. So try and have a little fine pair of scissors to work with. So now, this first technique, we just finished our edges. There's no raw edges anywhere, right? And this is a technique to make the bow that I learned years ago online. You want to get a pencil, and you're going to take your bow. I hope I can demonstrate this right for you guys. You're going to make sure your bow is even. Wrap it around the pencil, and all you're going to do is like you're making I'm going to go over here. Make a knot. Just like the knot you just made with the string. Nothing fancy. Just tie a knot around your pencil. See? Yay. See? You tie the knot around your pencil and tie it as tight as you could possibly get it, okay? Then what you're going to do is, you know how you make a bow when you tie your shoe, or if you were putting a bow in your dress, you just make a bow. Just tie it, tuck it, and make a bow. And then as you're tying it, make sure you try and keep these end pieces free, because if you don't, your bow is gonna you still have to pull it tight. And sometimes it's trial and error. Sometimes I go back and forth, like I said, before I get it right. But once you have it on your pencil like this, all you do is just drag it off your pencil. And then what you do is, at this point, you can play with it to make your bow look better. If you see what I'm doing here, like I just play with it. Sometimes if it's tucked under wrong or the opposite way or whatever, I just play with it until I get like a really pretty bow, or at least we want it to look like a bow. Okay, so again, so we keep making it tight. Sometimes we have to pull it out a little here, pull it out a little here. I hope you can see what I'm doing, guys, because that means a lot to me that I demonstrate right. But just straighten your fat. You guys know what a bow looks like. So I've demonstrated how to make it. Now you play with it until you have it to where you like it. You may want a bigger bow with bigger strings, or a bow that, I don't know, but it'll look like, make it look like a bow. So here's mine. And again, I sometimes will keep twisting and playing with it until I'm like, no, you're supposed to have 2 loops at the bottom. This is the back part, because that's where we had it tied. And you can pull it up some, you could pull it some, but at the end of the day, when we sew it, we will have it looking like a bow. I hope I did good with this. So anyway, so we'll play with it. Or you could play with it until, like this one, you see how sometimes you can just get them perfect. See how pretty that one looks, and this one is just giving me problems. So I'll go back. I won't sew it until I get it right, because again, remember, all we did was make a knot. So you could take it a loose until you get it right, or you can Google what a good bow looks like until you get it right, okay? And just take the knot out, get your pencil, and start again, because that's what I'll do. I'll just keep playing with it. But now I want to move on to the second technique of how we get to this part. So hold on, guys. I'll be back. Please visit my website, Busta Wraps, BUSTAWRAPPS. I'll be right back, guys. BustaWraps.com. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.